America. My name is Eugene. I'm from the south of Ukraine, a town called Mykolaiv. It's a Russian-speaking town, so-called. And you know why? Because for about 300 years, Russians would persecute anybody who would speak Ukrainian on the streets, anybody who would have the Ukrainian identity. It would be not just persecutable, it would be punishable by death. And it was. Exactly 100 years ago, Russia fought Ukraine. 1917, 1921, there was exactly the same war, and Ukraine lost because our allies abandoned us. And then in the next 10 years, from 1921 to 1933, Russians killed about 8 to 10 million Ukrainians who just didn't think they were Russians, who just thought that they have a country, that they are Ukrainians, who didn't identify themselves as Russians. And nothing changed. Nothing changed since then. They tried to destroy our identity back then, and you know, I felt it on my own skin. You know, you speak Ukrainian at home, and then you go outside or you go to school, and everybody speaks Russian because it's just you felt discomfort, you felt fear. So that's just an intro to Russian imperialism. Ukrainians had to speak Russian because otherwise we would be killed. And by the way, have you seen the biggest flag, Ukrainian flag in history in front of the White House today? Check it out. Also, J.D. Vance was there, and a Ukrainian demonstration was... This means it's working. We're here. We're a part of a bigger movement. And I'm so proud that Americans, real Americans, people who understand and value freedom, understand what's at stake, not just in Ukraine, right here. You're about to lose your country. It's slipping away. It's scary. I've never thought that I would even see a day. You know, it's the biggest dream of any Russian propagandist or any Russian soldiers or general or, you know, anybody for Ukraine to not have American aid and to not have American intelligence. And you know what? You owe us this intelligence and you owe us this defense aid because you took away the third largest nuclear arsenal from us in 1994. And it wasn't just a Republican or a Democrat. It was Bush Sr. first, and then it was Clinton. So besides adultery, I guess he had other sins, yeah? So, yeah, and you took away the third largest nuclear weapon. Then in 2000s, Obama would come to Ukraine and oversee the dismantling of long-range missiles, of long-range artillery. So it was an ongoing effort by Russia and USA to disarm Ukraine. And at the time, it looked like, hey, nuclear proliferation is bad. Let's stop nuclear weapons. Let's be good citizens of the world. But that's the way it's written in history books. In reality, they were using the same racketeering practice they do now. They said basically to Ukraine in 1994, hey, you either give away your nuclear weapons to Russia, or you are a pariah state. You're North Korea, you're in Afghanistan. We don't do business with you, and no one ever will. No one ever will. So, yeah, you know, to be honest, I've never cried as much as I did in the last week because I haven't been that heartbroken when Russia attacked Ukraine in 2022 as I was when America betrayed Ukraine in 2024. Yep. And, you know, I grew up, my mom is an interpreter, and I grew up around American missionaries in Ukraine. They would come to Ukraine after the Soviet Union fell apart to bring those ideas of, like, you know, evangelical Christianity, Protestantism and stuff. And I grew up kind of, you know, around those Americans, just like you. I loved them. Those were my favorite people in the world. And I believed them. I believed that they meant what they were bringing to us there in a country after 70 years of brutal Russian occupation, after a genocide. So, but it turns out they didn't. They didn't mean any of it because evangelicals, Republicans, conservatives, I should put all of those, you know, none of those mean what they used to. Those people not only knowingly voted for Donald Trump 3 times after a brutal insurrection, after he tried to take your democracy away. In Ukraine, we used to have a Russian tyrant and oligarchy. We had to have 2 bloody revolutions to overthrow them. It was terrible. They killed point blank peaceful protesters, some of the best people you know, not just Ukrainians. So many American soldiers died protecting Ukraine already because they went there to volunteer. And now America is spitting on their graves. It's disgraceful. It's shameful. This is not the America I knew and loved. It's, I'm at a loss for words. That's not right. I just hope that you get your country back. I just hope that you get it together. I hope you can shame your Republican senators into, being woke, as awake. Like, look at what your leader is doing to your country. Look at how Russia is disrespecting you every day. No, Russia is saying, we are not interested in any kind of ceasefire. Their officials are saying this every day. They want a capitulation, and America right now is pressuring Ukraine into capitulation to Russia. And you know what's happened next? What happens next? Poland already develops nuclear weapons because we see that American guarantees are worth nothing. Right now, North Korean soldiers are fighting on Russian side against Ukrainians and killing Ukrainians in the hundreds. And in a couple years, Russians will be fighting on North Korean side against South Koreans and against American boys and girls who are right now, tens of thousands of them, in South Korea. Think about that. It's not going away. In Ukraine, even on the eve of the invasion, nobody believed that it was going to happen. It was too crazy. Our own president didn't believe it. I talk to Americans all the time, and many of them tell me, hey, didn't Ukraine provoke Russia? Just look at the map. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I'll give the mic back to our talented, beautiful singers. And thank you, America. A couple weeks back, I would say it's the best we have. And it used to be the best we have. And I believe that it still can be. Get it together. Get it together. Protest. Fight. Americans protested Korean War. And it was a good war. It was fighting communists. And now you're giving in to them. That's not right. That's not America. And slava Ukraini.
Героям слава! Thank you, Evgen. Thank you very much.